Hello, Mala friends. We are here today to teach you how to string and tie and finish your Mala kit that you ordered from us, and we're super excited for this new adventure. We've been in business for 3 years, Jenny and I will let her introduce herself in a minute, but Jenny and I have been in business with l-and-j-mountain-malas for the last 3 years. And we've also taught mala making classes in person throughout the community. And with the Safer at Home guidelines, we know a lot of people are at home and unable to get together for in-person mala making parties. So we thought we would create some kits for you and teach you how to make them from home. So we're really excited about that. So I'm Lindsay of L&J Mountain Malas, and I started making malas about 3 years ago, and I posted some of them on Facebook, and everybody loved them, and they said I should sell them, and I did, and they were so popular I needed a business partner, and my friend, my dear friend Jenny of greater than 10 years came aboard with me, and we've been doing this for 3 years. So I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny. I'm the J in L&J, and I think Lindsay's been making malas a little bit longer than 3 years. I was gifted, I think, one of her first malas and fell in love with it and started my, bit of a meditation practice, and then begged her to teach me how to make malas. And that started about 3 years ago when we ventured into the partnership of making malas and sharing them with our community. And then it morphed into, because I am a classroom teacher, I like to teach, it morphed into our mala making workshops. And yeah, it's 3 years and we've had a lot of fun together. And we have shared a lot of beautiful moments with friends throughout the greater Denver metro area. So I live currently in Littleton, Colorado, and Lindsay is in Lone Tree, Colorado. So we don't know where these mala making kits are going to go, but that's where we are.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with talking a little bit about what a mala is and why we create malas and wear malas and what we can use malas for. So a little bit of history on the mala. The word mala is a Sanskrit word which means garland of unconditional love, which I think is really beautiful. Just thinking about wearing that or using that garland of unconditional love. So originally, the malas were created to help Buddhist monks who are new to their practice, to help them with their meditations. And they would use each bead as a mantra while they were meditating. And they would go around the circle and meditate on each bead and then arrive at the end, and then they would turn around and do it again. And they would do that for hours to help them with their meditation practice. Over the years, the mala has become, or the mala has still been used for prayer and meditation. But it's also become a symbol for intention and manifestation, especially when you include gemstones or crystals as part of your mala creation, which we really enjoy adding crystals and gemstones into our creations, and the kits will all include gemstones and crystals. And they hold a special energy, a special earth energy. and they all vibrate with a different intensity. So they can promote a lot of different healing and intentional purposes when you use them in an intentional way. Malas are made from a certain number of beads. They range from 18, 54, and 108, with 108 being the most popular. That's considered a traditional mala. But all those numbers are divisible by 9. And they carry the energy of the number 9, which symbolizes the completion of a cycle. When used for prayer or meditation, a person should start at the guru bead, like I showed you, and work your way around, using each bead as a mantra. Say if you want to meditate on love or on peace or inner peace, then you would just repeat that word each time as you go around. Let's see. So once you reach the end, when you're back at the guru bead, then it's considered complete. Your cycle is complete, and you can continue meditating in the other direction on a different mantra or word. Each knot in between the beads represents what in Buddhism they call the waiting space. And the waiting space represents the time it takes for an intention to be realized and for the universe to respond to your prayer or your mantra. It's believed that when a mala breaks or falls off, the waiting space is over and the intention has been manifested. However, our malas are pretty strong and sometimes they don't break. So I noticed with our malas that sometimes I'll just not really want to wear them anymore. They've kind of lost the original intention energy, and I'll just not really be drawn to them anymore. And at that time, I tend to cut them up and repurpose them into a new mala with a new intention. Which is really cool about learning how to make your own, is that when that does happen, then you can repurpose your original gemstones into a new mala with new intentions. So the malas are most powerful when the wearer does so with intention, love, and knowledge of the mala's strong energy and purpose. And Jenny's going to talk a little bit about intention setting before you create your mala, because it's really important to think about what intention you want to put into your mala while you're creating it. And Jenny's going to talk to us about how we do that. So I will turn it over to her.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. So the mala making workshops that we have been hosting for many, years have always been tied to the seasons and the moon phases. So we've done full moon releases, and we've done new moon, new beginnings, and we've done spring equinoxes and winter solstices and eclipses. And we've really dove into the energy surrounding those time periods and been very intentional about the beads that we bring to those workshops. But today, we have no idea when you're going to get this mala making kit in your hands. And we also have a lot of beads that have kind of become mixed up and friends in the chaos of moves and moving rooms and who knows. So what we've done is taken all of our beads and we set them out on May 6th. It was the full moon, flower moon. It was the last super moon of 2020. And with the intention of releasing any intentions that had been in those beads and having them ready for you to set your own intentions. Because Lindsay and I both believe, yes, these beads do carry really strong energies to help you with specific intentions, but really they're not magic. The magic is you setting the intention and wearing the mala, reminding you of that intention. And if you choose to if you have a meditation practice or you choose to begin a meditation practice, I can tell you that when I was given my first mala from Lindsay, I didn't know what meditation was. I'm like, what do I do? She's like, you can sit down and you can breathe. And with each bead, you can say, I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. I am patient. I am patient. I am kind. Like whatever words, intentions you needed to hear. And so I guess a little more about the beads that you were going to get and how I started making malas. When I got 108 beads together, I just said, you know what? I'm just going to string them. I don't need a pattern. I think they're going to wind up on my string and be beautiful. And every time they were. And I decided to call it Beautiful Chaos. And that just happened for me. And then talking with Lindsay, I realized that was my, I guess, just mantra for dealing with being a mom and being a teacher and being a wife and all of the things that happen on a day-to-day basis, like recognizing it and appreciating it as beautiful chaos helped me just be present with the moments. So that was my beginning mala. And so that's what we're giving to you. We're giving to you beautiful chaos. And you can do what, set whatever intention you want to set for your mala. And I think now I'm going to show you what you're going to get in your mala making kit. So you will get a little baggie, and this baggie will have a little bag for your finished mala, because everyone needs that. You're going to get one of our old business cards. I think the only thing, our phone numbers and our email address is still current, but we no longer have an Etsy shop. So you will get a card, and this card will have your thread wrapped around it. And you will unwrap it, and this will be what you need to start stringing your beads. You will also have a bag, and in this bag you will want to be mindful. There will be one larger bead that Lindsay spoke about, the guru bead. So put that to the side. Okay, that'll be your last bead. Am I right, Lindsay? Because she's teaching us how to do tassels for the first time. So I'm I'm new to that. So then you get to start stringing your beads. Now, this baggie has more than, actually I think this is a 54. It has more than 54 beads because you're going to need more than 54 beads. One is going to roll off the table and land in some abyss that you never knew existed, and you won't find it until it's pinging around your vacuum cleaner. Okay, so you've got some extra beads in here, so you will have to count. And then you just get started. After you have decided on your intention. So maybe you want to pause the video at some point and take a little break and really decide what your intention is if you don't already know it. And so there's a knot at the end, the needle, okay? And then you just string. And you will string all 54. And I like to string a few or 10. And then I always take it down to the knot. And look, I wasn't even paying attention, but I think you have like a fluorite and maybe what we call fairy quartz, and maybe I can't think of the name of that bead right now. Anyway, and it's already looking lovely, and there are only 3 beads. So you're gonna do that for all 54 beads. Okay, and you don't need to watch me do that, right? So you're going to wind up with all 54 beads on a string. And see, it's beautiful. It's beautiful chaos, and it's going to wrap around your wrist, and you're gonna love it. And so now, what I have to do is take the needle end and tie another knot, because you don't wanna lose your beads. Right, so there's another knot. It's not like just a knot, right? I like to make it neat by pulling on all the ends. And then do you do this, Lindsay? Do you flop it? Yep, turn it around. Bring all my beads down. And I think it's part of the process. Maybe it straightens out the string to make it easier for tying. Sometimes you get a little loop that you'll need to work out. And so now we're ready to start tying. Now here's where it's going to get tricky, because we've never done this before, and I have to figure out how to make the camera see my hands. So when Lindsay was first taught to make malas and tie knots, they said, just tie knot, just tie knot, figure it out, right? And so that you can do that. You can just figure out how to tie your knot. Or, oops, there's my loop again. And so when that happens, I am going to tie a different knot, because I don't want that loop that I got at the end. Just really close. Okay. All right. So now I bring my bead to the knot, and I'm going to flip this down, I think. My strategy is, I'm right-handed. So I'm holding the bead that I'm about to tie in my right hand, and the rest of the string is in my left hand. So my left hand, I'm using 2 or 3 fingers, and I'm wrapping the string around with the bead, and then I'm pulling the bead through, and then I have to cinch up that knot. And there are many different strategies that you can use. I use my finger just to cinch it up, and then I'm going to pull what's left over my finger and pull it tight, and then just use my fingers to bring that knot as close as I can, and then I pull on both ends, maybe roll it around to make the knot as neat as I want it, and then I'm ready for the next one. So I pull the next bead, and I don't forget to breathe. Right, this is a meditation mala, and I do it again. So wrapping it around my hand, pulling the beads through, and then using a finger to get the knot nice and neat. And Lindsay, I'm gonna ask you, is it clear? Are my hands, is there anything else? Any different angle you'd like to see it at?
No, I think that is beautiful. We could see it very clearly. So, yeah, no, I think that was great. So you're just gonna continue on in that fashion until you've tied knots in between all the beads. One thing I wanted to mention was that you're gonna string, so if you order a 54, you're obviously gonna string 54, and if you order a 108, you're gonna string 108, 108 beads. So
and then if you have done any knot work, you might have your own little strategy. I've seen people use needle nose pliers. Here, I can do this. I've seen people use needle nose pliers. I've used needle nose pliers. I've seen people use like a pen or a pencil, and they lay it down on the ground or on the floor, on the table, wherever you're working, with the knot. You see the knot?
Mm-hmm.
And then they pull it closer. Oops, except I didn't bring a bead over. So I'm not going to pull that one tight. But you will find a strategy that works for you, and it is not going to be perfect, and that is okay. That's part of the waiting space.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the intention and the process. So have fun.
Okay, so you will, in your packet, get a pack of embroidery string. It looks like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the little ends off, the little packaging off. And you're going to find, it should make a loop. So you want to make sure you find where it makes the loop and kind of separate it out so that you have a circle of string, and then find the end. And you are going to take the business card that came in your kit. And I suggest wrapping it around the long end, actually, because that's going to give you a nice length for your tassel. So you're going to take it, you're going to have a little bit of a tail here. The end, you can see it hanging over. You're going to hold that there, a little bit of a tail, not too much. And then you're just going to start wrapping the embroidery string. Now you want to you don't want it to get into a tangle at the end. So you're going to straighten it out as you go, wrapping. Once you get started, you can kind of go a little bit faster, but you don't want to wrap too tight so that the card bends. You want to kind of keep a nice loose so that it's a kind of an even wrap. And then once this comes back up, I like to, so that it doesn't get into a mess at the end. So again, with your intentions, as you are wrapping, you can repeat your intention over again as you wrap each loop around the card, so that your intention is deeply ingrained into your mala, because this is the completion of the mala. So you want to make sure that it's finished and sealed with your intention. And so something you can also say to yourself as you're wrapping this or tying your tassel is, and so it is, which is something we say when we set an intention, and so it is, which signals the universe that we are ready for this intention to come to fruition. All right, you're going to keep wrapping until you have about, I would say actually, an entire arm wingspan of thread left. So you can see it's kind of hard to show, but here is my card here, and I've kind of have this about exactly an entire arm span, wingspan of thread left. And then you're going to cut it right at the edge of the card so that it's even with those strings on the bottom. Okay. Then you're going to take your extra and you're going to save it, put it over to the side and save it for later. All right. So now you have your tassel wrapped like that. You're going to go back to your finished mala, and you're going to take the side with the needle, and you are going to have to untie the knot that you tied at the end. So you're going to untie the knot, the side of on that side of the needle, and then you're going to string your guru bead, the big bead that you saved. You're going to string it on that needle. Okay, so now it is part of your mala. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to lay that down gently so that the bead doesn't fall off. And this side that doesn't have the guru bead, the other side, you're going to need to string through that guru bead too. So all 4 strings are going to go through the guru bead. So the way I do this is to take the needle. So you can cut your needle off the end and take your needle, and you're going to do this one at a time. So you string just one of these strings through the needle. Here's my guru bead. You want to string it up through the bottom so that the string comes out the side with the other string. So you're stringing through the bottom. And you're bringing it up. If I do this not in front of the camera, it really works well, but when I do it in front of the camera, there we go. All right, so see how it came out the other side? Now you have 3 strings. Okay, so you're going to keep it there. And then you have 1 more string on this other side. Okay, here's the guru bead. Here's the other string. So you're going to string that through the needle, the eye of the needle. Then you're going to pull that last one through. This one might need to pull a little bit. That's okay, the string will not break. Okay, so make sure you pull all the way through. You can take the needle off. So now what you have is, you pull all the strings through, and what you have should be a connected mala. So all the strings are coming through the guru bead. You have a little loop, or just kind of pull them all through so that the guru bead is coming up against and closing off the mala. So both sides of the mala. So now it looks like this. So you have a closed mala. And then what you want to do is take both sides. You have 2 strings in one hand and 2 strings in the other hand, and you're going to tie a knot. And then you're going to double tie the knot. So you have a double knot at the end, closing off that mala. You're going to come back to your embroidery string on the side that has the shortest end. So see how this has the end that we finished? You're going to take your finger here, and you're going to just kind of gently pull the string off of the card. So now you have a loop of string. Okay, so this top side where you just pulled it off, you're going to thread one side of the mala through. And you have your other side here, right? So here you have the loop of the string on this side. Yeah, I think that was correct. Yes, yeah, so you have the loop. See how you have both sides, and then you're going to tie this to the top part of the mala in a double knot. So here's the strings from the mala, and here is the tassel. So you have the mala tied around the loop of the tassel, like this. Okay, so now you kind of smooth out your tassel. And you get about right where, I mean, I always choose, see, here's my short end that I started with. I choose about that area to wrap around for my mala, or for my tassel. So about there. You can choose if you want it farther down, but kind of close to the end of the mala. You're going to take your extra string that you saved. You're going to come to one end, and you're going to tie that one end around that top part of the tassel. This is very hard to do while and show you on the video. So you have, and if you want to move it up a little bit, you can move it up a little bit. And then you're going to tie that in a knot as well. All right. Now you kind of want to wrap this little short piece around. And then what you're just going to do is, again, you're going to hold the mala like this, and you're going to wrap this end around so that you're making a nice finish right there. Pretty tight. Again, with your intention, so it is. And if you feel like this is enough, you can stop there, or you can wrap the whole thing. Some people like a bigger knot around their tassel. So I'll go ahead and wrap the whole thing. So there's about just a little bit left, about the same length as the tassel, maybe a little bit more. And then you're going to find your other end that you ended on, and you're going to tie these two ends together, okay? So that you can finish that. I'm going to do it down here because I feel like I'm going to drop the whole thing in. All right. So I have the two ends, the end from down here and the end from the thing you just wrapped, and I'm going to tie it in a knot, double knot. And there you go. So now what you want to decide is how long you would like your tassel to be. So the next, well, actually, before you decide that, what you want to decide is, or what you want to do is finish this piece off. So you're just going to take, and as close as you can, cut the rest of your ends off for that. And then you can kind of tuck them under. They'll go under. So those were the ends of the mala string that we pulled through. All right, so here you have your tassel. I'm going to straighten out the loop, and then you can decide how long you want your tassel to be. So I have a couple tassels here. So here I have a longer one. And then here I have a shorter one. And it's totally up to you how long or short you would like it to be. And you decide, and then, so say I would like my mala a little bit longer. I would err on the longer side first, just to see if you like it. And then you're just going to trim off the edge of that loop. And then you might want to trim off the extra, kind of make it so you're going to look at that and you're going to say, okay, maybe that's too long. So then you can just trim up from there. Always remembering that a a little bit at a time, because you might end up with one that's really short, and then you have to redo the whole process. So start long and then trim. However, it's kind of like getting a haircut, right? So then you can kind of, again, a lot easier to do this not on film, but okay, there you go. So there, then you have your tassel at the end of your mala. And there you go. You have a finished traditional mala.
And so it is.
And so it is.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
For our first class.
Yeah, I think so too. So
one thing that I forgot to mention was our intention with offering these mala classes online. Our donations are going to be, we're really excited. Our donations are going to, at the new moon of every month, we will take the money that we have and turn a portion of it into $25 gift cards with local businesses. And then anyone who has participated in an at-home mala making class with us will have the opportunity to earn a gift card to support a local business. Even if you're out of state, we'll figure out how to do it. We know there are local businesses near you too that need support.
awesome. Thank you. Well, I'm so excited for everybody. And when you complete your malas, it would be wonderful if you would post them to, or send us a picture, or post them to our Facebook site, which is l-and-j-mountain-malas. We have a page and a VIP group, so you can join any of those. And it would be wonderful to see everybody's finished mala and maybe the intentions. Yeah. So I think that would be wonderful. So happy mala making. Also, the phone number and the email on the business cards is correct. If you have any questions or struggle with any part of this, just reach out to us and let us know, and we can either walk you through it or do a Zoom tutorial for anything that is confusing. So
absolutely.
Yay. All right. Well, happy mala making. And
happy mala making, intention setting.
Yes. And so excited to see these beautiful malas. Thank you.